Fast and Furious is a dead franchise. Stunts were stupid, the cast is too big, and sadly the characters are still boring. The movie had to explain what happened only 5 movies ago because they know the audience is not keeping up with what's going on. Let's just get into the oopsie daisies of this movie. First, let's start with the good thing, which was Jason Momoa. I saw someone describe Jason Momoa as a more fruity, more feminine Joker, and that is a perfect description in a movie set to where we have to take everything seriously. The character who is crapping on our characters constantly and not taking a single thing seriously, and also taking the whole idea of the past franchise that is family and just giving a big middle finger to it, was hilarious. Sadly, it wasn't all great. While he did feel threatening for the most part, and like, he could do some actual damage, and he was genuinely scary. Like the scene where he walked in of a big bad guy's headquarters that has been the bad guys since 2 movies ago, and just took her crew like that because he was holding everyone hostage, and the one guy he couldn't hold hostage, he just slit his throat, was terrifying. And then the scene where he's playing around and talking to 2 corpses like they're still alive is disgusting, but they still managed to ruin that by making 0 stakes in this movie. The entire time he was saying how he was 10 steps ahead, or how he was gonna do all this damage, when in reality he got nothing done in the movie. And you can come to me and be like, oh, but he killed the entire family. He ended up getting John Cena dead. He captured Vin Diesel's son. I'm gonna call him Vin Diesel's son because it's his actual son. He killed the entire familia. Well, actually, John Cena's not dead. Considering they're bringing The Rock back, there's no way they're keeping him dead. He captured his son for a total of 5 minutes. And, the family? Yeah, maybe they did die. Oh wait, Gal Gadot came back at the end of the movie. Like I said, no stakes. This franchise used to make you care about the characters, that when they died, they stay dead. Like when Han died, and when Gal Gadot's character died, I don't know her name. Vin Diesel's baby mama, Letty. Oh wait, no, they brought her back too. God, this franchise just sucks. It has come to my attention that only 2% of you are subscribed. I'm a small channel. I'm trying to make it big in the YouTube scene, so I would love if you guys all click that subscribe button. It is free, and you could easily change your mind if you don't enjoy the content later. Thank you. We're gonna go back. We're gonna have a journey back in time, all the way to the first movie, where Dom and Brian pull up right next to each other. And they're talking, and then they start driving. Drive faster and faster, and then they see a train coming and go faster and faster until they speed past the train. That was their level of, overdoing it. But every person who made a car related movie back then had that type of scene where the driver in the car would beat out the train every time. But they brought you right back to reality when Dominic hit a semi-truck pulling out of a street in front of him. Hits the semi-truck, goes flying through the air, car gets totaled, he is injured, Brian has to give him his car so he can get away. What happens in this movie? Absolutely none of that. All of that goes out the window the moment he started playing around with the bomb in his car. By that I mean holding a bomb back twice, flying through the air to hit whatever the hell this thing is, to make the bomb go flying into the water. Defying gravity when the bomb blows up, and he just comes off the ground, and somehow, from whatever he has going on in the car, the speed is enough to push him right back down to the ground and drive off, while all the police cars behind him go flying in the air. He fights off 2 helicopters that shoot little spears into his car and pick him up, and once again he is off the ground, but somehow whatever is in his car is fast enough to put him right back on the ground. 3 separate times it happens. 3 separate times. He goes driving down the side of a dam to avoid 2 Optimus Prime trucks from blowing up into him that are being remote controlled right after he sees his family blow up. And you know what he said right before that? You may have taken everything from me, but you didn't take my car. That is the stupidest line I've ever heard in any movie ever. You can take my family, you can take my son, but I got him back. You can take whatever you want, but you didn't take my damn car that I can defy gravity in. That car is the equivalent of Superman, god damn it. This movie is so stupid. People talk about how the car going to space was stupid. First of all, Elon Musk did that. Stop using that as your prime example for why these movies suck. That one's believable. The less believable one is The Rock moving a missile on ice for it to blow up, or whatever the hell happened at the end of Fate of the Furious. That movie was stupid. But no, you couldn't live with that. You saw how poorly your movie did, Vin, and you decided to up the stakes. The stunts in this movie are so unbelievably stupid that I had to look around me every time they happened to make sure I was still conscious. I was still breathing. I wasn't dreaming. I was alive in the moment watching what Fast and Furious has become. So I brought up his son, so we'll stay on this topic. Why did his son go from white to maybe a little Mexican to black? My kid's partner in crime, John Cena. My friend who had seen this movie before me told me John Cena was the best part of this movie, and they did a full 180 from his character in the last one, how the whole time he just held the smolder face, and in this one he was the goofy uncle like he's good at doing. I can agree with the full 180 part. I can't agree with the rest of it. He wasn't even funny. It was a comedy sketch done bad. It was like Daddy's Home 2, but he had a bit of humor to him. Like, it was that boring. One scene I'll give him credit for is when he's beating up all those goons, but even then, he avoids death like 300 times. No way he has the muscle strength to do that for that long. Your body gives out eventually. I don't think action movies understand that. Specifically Fast and Furious. They don't understand that your body can't just throw punches over and over and over and over and over again and not get tired. That's not how it works. Also, to who told me he was the best part of this movie, you're an idiot, because he was stupid. This movie was stupid, and anytime they cut back to John Cena and this kid, Vin Diesel's kid, I rolled my eyes, because they are so boring to the point where John Cena let the kid climb out of the car. Well, I guess he didn't know, but when he found out the kid was on the back of the car fixing the bomb that got stuck on his bomb on wheels, his tank on wheels, when he was fixing it, he let him. So the kid got snatched right off the car by Jason Momoa, and he said, "Let me go save your son by blowing myself up." Do you think anyone believes he's really dead? Shall I go back to the point that Gal Gadot shows up at the end of this movie? I can't wait to hear what they have to say about how she lived and didn't contact anyone for all that time. This poor man named Han, who also died, is missing his love interest right now. She just didn't contact them. What's with John Cena and The Rock being in the same franchise and not being able to coexist? Because John Cena gets introduced as Peacemaker, right? The Rock gets introduced as Black Adam. Right after, The Rock leaves as Black Adam and John Cena stays as Peacemaker. Fast and Furious. The Rock exits after Fate of the Furious because Vin Diesel and the other bald man can't get along. So they get John Cena in, which I thought was a jab at The Rock, because you get your former enemy in as the bad guy. I thought that was pretty funny. Kill John Cena. Bring The Rock back. I swear to God, if these two aren't in the same movie and end up fighting, I don't want to hear it. Because that's the only thing saving your franchise right now, is these two fighting in a live action movie. That would be amazing. That would be fantastic. That would be spectacular. That would be amazing. That would be real entertainment. While we're on that, let's talk about the other great actor who was in this movie, Jason Statham. I love seeing Jason Statham in the Fast and Furious movies. Oh, what's that? He's only in it for 2 scenes? They changed his character completely from what they built him up to be? Damn, that's a shame. They literally did a full 180 with his character along with John Cena's, except Jason Statham's was in a worse way than his, because, he started as a bad guy getting revenge for his brother that got his ass whooped, to become part of the family just to Turn that right back around when Han shows up at his door and he goes, "Damn, I gotta kill this guy." Aren't you part of the family he's in? The one reason dead guys show up at your door, revenge. No, that was so stupid. That was so stupid. That whole fight scene was stupid. Then for the car of the agency to come in, drive through, and they both start beating up guys on each side of the car, and then they get around. Jason Statham puts a gun to his head and decides, yeah, I don't want to kill him anymore. Why? You wanted to kill him 5 seconds ago! Jason Statham not being in this movie was criminal, but I understand why, because they're too busy trying to introduce all these other new characters, or just squeeze everyone in the franchise in here. Brie Larson. I don't like Brie Larson. I am not a fan of Brie Larson, but she was okay in this movie. 5 minutes of screen time, max. The big buff guy that my friend thought was gorgeous. He had the most chiseled chin I've ever seen. The biggest biceps I've ever seen. His pecs were not staying in that shirt. And you want me to care that he's a bad guy when he wasn't even in the movie? Why should I care? These two are the two replacing Kurt Russell's Mr. Nobody. He made no sense and he was still good. Do you know why? Because he's Kurt Russell. These two are nobodies. Get it? Mr. Nobody? These two are nobodies. And you want me to care about them. Brie Larson. I didn't mind. She wasn't in the movie though. This guy, I would have cared a little more that he shot the plane down of La Familia. If John Cena didn't die 5 seconds before, knowing he was coming back to life, so I know these guys are coming back to life, completely demolishes the conversation that Ludacris and, oh my god, I can't even remember their name. They don't matter. These two had a conversation right before they died about leadership and how the goofball of the group, who's been a goofball this whole time, actually took leadership, and then they die. That would have been a perfect ending for them, because yeah, it's a little rushed, but it's a good ending for them, because these two have never gotten along. Like, literally never gotten along. They're on the same team, sure, they've literally never gotten along. That would have been the perfect ending. But they're not gonna die. They looked at a couple of cars before the plane crashed. They're gonna get in those cars and they're gonna survive driving down the side of the mountain the same way Dom drove down the side of the dam. Ugh, it's so frustrating. I have a quick question. Why did the bad guy who has been built up Cypress? One of the two. She doesn't matter. She's been built up as this bad guy. Killed Dom's baby mama. Took the baby hostage to where the bad guy from the other movie had to turn to help him after he faked his death in a stupid stunt. Why did she, who was also built up in the 9th movie to be even badder, show up at Dom's doorstep because she got her ass whooped and she was all crybaby about it? My enemy of my enemy is my friend. Not in this case. Not at all in this case. Why are you here? None of what you just did made any sense. I guarantee you, her crew was bigger than those couple of people that Jason Momoa took hostage at the beginning of the movie. I promise you. Their crew is so much bigger based off of what happened in Fate of the Furious. She had a whole submarine and a group of people making sure that submarine didn't go anywhere. This redhead, she's a prime example. Where is her crew? Why did she go to Dom to warn him? She does not like Dom. She does not like his family. She threatened to kill his baby. A infant. A child that was white and now is black. Doesn't matter. Why is she here? Her being in this movie makes no sense. She goes from trying to help to being captured in the same prison as Letty to trying to help her escape, but that doesn't work because Letty doesn't like her, so they fight, and then she helps her again, and then she's teamed up with Gal Gadot, who died in the 6th movie. What is happening? Roman and Terrace, that's their name. One point I wanted to make with all of this is there's a difference between a good driver and a lucky driver. First movie, Dom was that guy Dom was the guy who could beat anyone in a race. By Fate of the Furious, he was still that guy who beat the other guy with a car driving backwards that was on fire, used the NOS to his advantage while driving a car backwards. Yes, it was stupid, but he was still that guy. By this point, if he can't win a race, I don't know what to tell you, because the stunts that he pulls in that car, and back to that line I told you, you didn't take my car. I don't even know like how to fathom how stupid this movie has become for this franchise. Fast 9 was bad, yes. This is stupid. This is beyond me, because it is dumb. If I didn't talk about the character, they didn't matter enough to be brought up, because there were so many characters in this movie. I didn't care. My girlfriend I went to go see it with literally had to look up if that was the rat catcher from Suicide Squad, because she just randomly showed up. Oh, by the way, she's Dom's baby mama's sister, who he chose to save up from a car that was about to explode, and then decides, family. Shut the hell up. Again, back to Jason Momoa. That is exactly why he was the best part of this movie. Family, 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 family. The whole time, he was the one saying family, because he was rubbing it in their face. Like, I'm gonna kill your family, because that's what's bad about having so much family. They die, you're nothing. Vanexx, are you really getting this frustrated over a movie? I've grown attached to these movies. I like these movies so much that my Guardians review that I've been working on, because I hate releasing movie reviews right after the movie came out. It's a prime example. My prime example of that is my Creed 3 one, because I did that literally right after the movie came out, and I hate that video because I didn't have everything I needed up here. It was all just because the movie was relevant. The movie will be relevant in months. I can wait on Guardians. I need to talk about this now. I've had a week. That's all I needed to discuss the fact that I hate this movie. It is ruining... scratch that. It has officially ruined the Fast and Furious brand. If you can manage to make me care about this franchise again by the 12th movie, that'll be surprising, because Fast 9, Fast 10, part of Fate of the Furious, Hobbs and Shaw with that robot man, the only reason that one worked is because it was Hobbs, Shaw, and Idris Elba. Idris Elba is one of my favorite actors ever. Jason Statham is a classic, and The Rock is The Rock. That worked because it worked. This one doesn't work because it sucks. But my point to all that is, you've built up this franchise that was just street racing, and you could have ended it at the 7th one. Which brings me to my final point. I had a discussion with fellow YouTuber SSJ Sharp. I seem to bring him up in all of my videos. I don't know why. Love that man. Biggest fan. We had a talk that he would be upset if Paul Walker's brother didn't come back as Brian. And the more we talked about it, I saw it from his perspective, and I agreed with him. But I've changed my mind, and I'm going to explain why. I don't agree with him because I would have loved Brian to come back for one more showing of Fast and the Furious. This is no longer Fast and Furious. This is a different franchise that has gone beyond the outer realm of stupidity. And yes, it is a movie. You can think whatever of it. If you had fun watching it, good for you. If you didn't enjoy it for the same reasons I do, because I'm a movie critic, I enjoy it if it's a good movie, not if it's stupid. This one is stupid, and I've said that more than plenty of times, so I'm gonna stop saying that. If Brian comes back at all, I'm gonna be pissed, because Fast and Furious was his series. This movie franchise was built off of this character. Fast 1 was great because of Paul Walker. Fast 2 existed because they took Paul Walker and sent him on a journey It was basically a follow-up of what Brian's doing after, while introducing the rest of the crew. That one worked. That's why Tokyo Drift doesn't work, because the car scenes are cool, but the characters are boring. I don't like Tokyo Drift. Have at it. And then the fourth one. We come back to Dominic Toretto and his family. And it's bad. I don't like Fast and Furious 4. I don't. It's bad. And that's a prime reason for why this series doesn't work. Because Vin Diesel is not a main character. That's why Fate of the Furious went straight from, where do we go from here? Let's just make Dom bad. Because he's not a good main good character. He's not. He's just, it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. That's why Paul Walker was the center of it, because it worked. Fast 5, good. Fast 6, good. Fast 7, fantastic. So where are we now? Without Paul Walker in a series that is crumbling. As we speak, this series is no longer the series that we used to believe. The series that we used to love. The series that we watched and thought the stakes mattered. The characters' deaths mattered. The characters itself mattered. The storylines, they worked. They were a little stupid, a little boring, maybe, but they worked because the characters, and one character in particular, Brian, played by Paul Walker, they should have left off at the 7th movie. Now, were they ever going to do that? No. The 7th movie was the highest grossing Fast and Furious movie there was up to date. Now, sadly, I believe it was because of Paul Walker's passing during the movie, which got everyone's eyes paying attention to this movie. So where we're at now, if he shows up in Fast 11 or Fast 12, played by his brother, I understand the family legacy. It is up to Paul Walker's family if they want his character to come back. But it's not Fast and Furious. I don't want to see Brian's face on my screen, because I will not be smiling. I will be rolling my eyes, sitting back in my chair, maybe even walk out of the theater. Because I get into movie theaters for free, ho. I don't want Brian to come back. Because this isn't the series that he left in. This is a whole new one. And that would be ruining the send-off. The greatest send-off, in my opinion, of any character in any franchise ever. Yes, there's been character deaths, like Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man. That was a great send-off. There's been send-offs way better than that, come way before that. But I don't think Fast and Furious 7 is matched by the emotional, by the just pure, raw, emotional state we were all in, knowing Paul Walker would never show up again. So the drive off at the end of that movie with the song by Wiz Khalifa and Charlie Puth will never be matched. So if they bring him back, that would be ruining all of that. So don't you dare even think about it. Yes, it's weird seeing his wife in these movies by herself, fighting alongside John Cena. You're thinking, where's Paul Walker? Just think he's at home with his son. Or where is Brian? Just think he's at home with his kid. He's doing something else. That is a thought that will always be in the back of our mind. But we know the real answer. He's not with us anymore. You have managed to ruin every other character death in the series. So don't ruin the one that actually died. Leave Paul Walker to rest. Let his character live off in the 7th movie. You can have all the characters back that you've already ruined the death of. But don't ruin that one. I know this video got very serious very quickly, but this series of movies holds very deeply to my heart. So to see them ruin it the way they are, it's sad. If they can manage to fix the plot, just make it a John Wick type thing where everyone's against you, but actually make it make sense, that'd be fine. If you can fix the characters, bring down the cast a little bit. You don't need everyone in the movie. We know you're going to carry the series on after the 12th movie. You'll probably give it 5 years, but you're going to make the kids the lead roles, or you're going to make Hobbs and Shaw 2, or you're going to make there's a guaranteed one with a female lead movie coming up. I have a feeling it's going to be by Ratcatcher, whatever her name was. But don't cram them all in the last 2 movies. Stop ruining the movies. I beg of you. Thank you for watching. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 review coming soon. That one's a lot happier than this one. Yep, that's it. Bye.